My son asked me this question. And at one point he asked me, did I leave the UK because of them? And that was a real kicker. And I'm like, no, I actually did it for me because I'd always been something to someone, but not to myself.
Welcome to Season 6 of Flourish in the Foreign, the award-winning podcast that celebrates, elevates, and affirms the voices and stories of Black women living and thriving abroad while exploring living abroad as a pathway to wellness. This season kicks off with a mini-season exploring aging abroad.
But it was very affordable for me as a freelancer, imagine. And where she is now, she obviously has 24-hour care and the nurse sleeps in the room with her. The nurse has her own bed. It's a really large room. My mother has her own bathroom. They wash the clothes. They iron them. They do all of the things. I'm fortunate that Nairobi offers these things. Other African cities do not. Like my girlfriend from Uganda was like, you're so lucky because we don't have anything like this in Kampala.
In the places that I have lived, as I have aged, I feel like I have become less visible. The difference is I don't really care. Like it's not hurting my feelings that, where I would walk in a room in my 20s and 30s and people would take notice. That doesn't necessarily happen now, except in Portugal. Didn't live there, just visited, but definitely was seen in a way that I had not been seen in a long time.
I'm also bringing you brand new interviews from more incredible Black women living and thriving abroad.
People will always tell me, oh, Italy is very racist. I say yes, but France, so is France, where I'm from. And I think I rather feel a foreigner in a foreign country than a foreigner in my own country.
Nighttime, it was total darkness. There was not even a light bulb. Can you imagine a whole city of people, not one light bulb on at night? These people were isolated like you could never imagine that kind of isolation. If you would go to Hamburg or go to somewhere else by train, they would all be on the train station watching the train go because that's all they could do was watch.
My education has been very much hands-on. I taught myself 6 languages. I taught myself my career. The way that education is taught in the United States particularly doesn't resonate with the way that I learn. Because of that, I left school to teach myself everything that I wanted to know, and I did it. So I didn't get the opportunity to study abroad. Instead, I just randomly decided to go abroad and learn on the job while being abroad, which honestly was such a rich and very educational experience, for better or for worse.
He scheduled a mastectomy for me about 2 weeks after I was diagnosed, so very fast. And the question came up, should I go back to the US for this? Because this is major, it's massive. However, we know about the healthcare system in the US. If the doctor wants to operate on me, I was diagnosed June 26th, he wants to operate July 12th. Is there a reason that we're moving this fast? If I go back to the US, first of all, I have to quit my job. I have to move out of my apartment. I have to find out how to get on health insurance without being gainfully employed in the US and now having a pre-existing condition. How long would it take me to actually get that surgery if I just pick up and move? So after a lot of thought and discussion, I decided to stay and do the surgery.
Remember, even as a child, I have this memory of being there, playing with my little Barbie dolls and just thinking there is some place in the world that sparkles and I'm supposed to be in that place in the world. And I didn't know where it was. I didn't have any concept of it. I think this is a memory of me being like 4 or 5, right? But I just remember thinking like, there's some place in this world that sparkles and like, that's where I'm supposed to be.
Season 6 of Flourish in the Foreign launches January 6th, so make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. And remember, it's not about moving abroad. It's not about being abroad. It's about thriving abroad. It's about flourishing abroad. So go abroad and cultivate a life well lived. See y'all next season.